Hey everybody, this is James Boudreau with American Pride Home Inspection Service. If you would like to schedule an inspection with American Pride, feel free to visit us on the web at sacramentoinspection.com or give our office a call at 877-424-8289. The reason I'm doing these videos is to share information that we find on our home inspections. I think that it's very important that the sellers out there learn from these videos, and also our potential clients are going to understand kind of what we're looking for in some of these home inspections and some of the things that we're finding. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's a gate that is mounted directly to the siding at looks like the garage. The reason we would call this out is because of earth-to-wood contact. There should be a piece of flashing in between the wall siding and the post that the gate connects to there. So we will call this out as a maintenance situation that needs to be repaired. This is a picture of the ice maker line. I always call this out in my reports as a maintenance item that should be capped if the ice maker line is not put into service. In most cases, that's not going to be the issue. In most cases, they're going to have an ice maker line that's hooked up to this. But in just in case it's not, it's a good idea to have that cap so that you don't get leaks down the road. All of our home inspections include a recall check on all the appliances. So throughout a lot of these videos, you'll see the data plates from some of the appliances periodically. This is a picture of some of the deterioration that we found in some of the siding at the back of the house. We don't make a huge deal about deterioration in our reports. We list it in the maintenance section, but the pest inspector's job is to find wood deterioration or signs of pests that can cause wood deterioration. So we'll list it in the report, but we list it as in the maintenance section. Here's a picture of some of the front fence that goes around the front patio, the rail area, and you can see that there's some sunken in areas on that wood right there. That's an indication of possible deterioration. You can't really see it in this picture, but it was also in the post here. Up on the roof now, it looks like that we got some ridge caps that are deteriorated. Now I'm not exactly sure, and you've probably seen this, but some of our competitors are indicating that they do free roof inspections. Roof inspections have always been part of the home inspection and always will. The only thing that I can possibly think of is some of these pest inspectors are starting to get into the home inspection industry, and now, since how they've never gone up on the roof, maybe they're indicating that they still don't go on the roof, and some of my competitors are starting to say that the roof inspection is a separate issue. It's not. It never has been. It's supposed to be included in part of the inspection, and if you're not getting a roof inspection as part of your regular home inspection, you need to hire a different inspector. Anyway, here you have a picture of some the roof cap on the roof itself is deteriorated and needs to be repaired. This is up in the attic space. We noted that it appeared that the AC condensing unit had been moved, and this is just abandoned refrigerant lines that are left behind. So this is a picture of the water heater in the garage, and the reason I took a picture of the water heater in the garage is I wanted to point out that we suggest adding a ballard post, protected post, in front of the water heater. That way, if somebody pulled into the garage, they're not going to run into the water heater. Also, the bracing that's on this water heater is not sufficient and should have a strap across the top 1/3 and across the bottom 1/3. And that is a regulation for the state of California. This is a picture of the sprinkler timer in the garage, and it's hooked to a GFCI controlled receptacle. we always point out the fact that if we see a sprinkler timer on a GFCI controlled receptacle, that they should be moved to a dedicated circuit, one that does not have a GFCI. And the reason for that is if you go on vacation, your sprinkler timer is shut off for a period of time because the GFCI tripped. You're bound to have some dead lawn by the time you get back, and that can cost you several thousands of dollars. So it's important taking care of while we're there. Now this is actually down inside the chimney chase. I took a picture of this because what somebody did is they blew the insulation down beside that chimney flue pipe. That's, you can't really tell how deep that is, but it's about 4 or 5 inches, and it's ground up insulation, recycled paper, and what have you. We could not reach that. That's down there about 4, maybe 5 feet. Another one of the roof penetration boots is deteriorated. This is pretty common when we go up in the attic space to see construction debris left behind from the HVAC contractors. We noted in the report that there was debris up in the attic, but you know, we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We're just saying that it's there. There's that pipe I was telling you about for the flue pipe for the water heater. We actually cleaned that debris out. If we can get to it, we'll clean it out of there. We're obviously not going to get on our bellies and clear out into an eave or something to clean those off because we don't want to cause any damage. But if we're there, we'll go ahead and clean them. So that's the front of that house. See that tree? This tree needs to be trimmed away from that roof. Otherwise, you're going to get vermin crawling up on top of that roof, and they'll get in that attic space. Don't ask me how, but they do it. So this is a picture of the eave vents going up into the attic space. I'll show you another picture in a little while, but this is, you can clearly see that insulation is partially blocking those vents. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this has actually got a cathedral ceiling in this area, and there's no baffles up in there, and it's pretty blocked. In order to get good ventilation up into the attic space, those cathedral style ceilings need to have baffles in the roof base in order to have good ventilation. Little deterioration in some of the trim. And again, we don't make a huge deal of that of the deterioration. We list it when we see it, but the pest inspectors do a very good job of locating that stuff, and in many cases it needs to be repaired before the close of escrow. So we just don't make a huge deal out of it. This is a picture of the nail, and you're going to see this throughout a lot of my videos. This is a really big issue with homes in the Sacramento area, and I'm not sure why, but the builders have never required the gutter installers to seal these. You can clearly see that there's a small gap around that nail, so if water hits that nail or the gutter gets plugged up and it fills up with water, that water is going to wick back on that nail, and it's going to deteriorate the fascia board and or the truss tails. I would strongly suggest sealing all those nails up with some kind of gutter sealant, something that's going to stay pliable so that it can move when the gutter heats and cools. So this is up on the roof next to the that's actually at the side of the chimney there, the upper side of the chimney. Got some deterioration of the wood right there. One of the things that we always recommend is that anytime that you're siding anything that's on top of a roof, to hold all that siding up. That should have a minimum of 1 inch to 1.5 inches clearance off of the roof. You can clearly see that the trim is in direct contact with the roof there, and it's in direct contact here. That's going to cause water to get trapped there and not allow it to move around the chimney. So we would strongly suggest that everything be held up off the roof there. This is a picture of the heating system up in the attic space, and right here you can see this little gap right here is one of the seams that is open on the heating system itself. It's important to have regular maintenance on your heating system. Have it looked at during the spring, and then have it looked at in the fall. And the reason we say that is you can lose a lot of energy out those seams. And since it's pretty dusty up in the attic space, they'll open up there from time to time. So this was a picture I took across the top of the attic space. That silver pipe you see over there is actually the chimney flue pipe that we went across that insulation there, and took a picture down inside that chase. More free advertisement. So this is plumbing for the whole house vacuum system. We always report in our reports that a system has been plumbed for a whole house vacuum system. However, in this case, the head has not been installed yet, but it is plumbed for one. Another picture of that water heater. A little bit of deterioration on the right rear on the trim. Roof condition, it's worn. It's towards the end of its lifespan. It's probably got a few years left. We always point out in our reports that if a roof is towards the end of its lifespan, we're going to point it out. We don't really say how many years it has left because honestly, we're not roofing contractors, and we just can't tell the future. We try to describe best we possibly can the condition that we find the roof in. In this case, the granular material that's on top of the roof is missing, worn, and or deteriorated. It's possible the client would we would recommend that a client possibly get a price check on what it's going to cost down the road for a replacement. If, for instance, the client is concerned about the roof in this type of condition, we would suggest having a roof cert. But honestly, there wasn't a ton of damage to this roof. The caps were pretty worn. I think they probably needed to be replaced. So there was some maintenance that needs to be done. But it's obviously going to need a roof soon. So this is some of the bays that I was telling you about in that raised ceiling area down below, the cathedral style ceiling. You could see the insulation in each one of these bays is right up against the roof deck. Now you can have a contractor come in and put some baffles down in there to separate the insulation again away from the roof deck. And the reason you would need to do that is just to make sure that you get air flowing through there so that it doesn't condensate. These are pretty short runs, but I still think that it probably should be done eventually. Possibly down the road, this would be on your to-do list. So anyway, my name is James Boudreau. I'm with American Pride Home Inspection Service. If you'd like to schedule an inspection with us, feel free to contact us at 877-424-8289, or feel free to visit us on the web at sacramentoinspection.com. Until next time, thanks.